The town that was only 3 days away from disappearing. There are crimes that become less frightening once they are solved. This was not one of them. Investigators closed the Briar Hollow case in November 1991. Every person involved survived. No one was murdered. No buildings were destroyed. No official disaster ever occurred. Internal memoranda later stated only one sentence. Intervention likely prevented a full population-level event. No explanation was attached. Briar Hollow, West Virginia. Population, 1 church. 1 grocery store. 1 school. No hotels. Residents later agreed on one thing. The 6 workers became part of the town almost immediately. They repaired fences without being asked. Fixed the church roof after a storm. Built new swings for the elementary school. Delivered firewood to elderly residents. Children knew them by name. One witness said, "They were the best neighbors we'd ever had. No one ever reported feeling threatened." 26 days after their arrival, small things began disappearing. Never money. Never valuables. Only objects that had belonged to one person for a very long time. An old wedding ring that no longer fit. A chipped coffee mug used every morning. A child's first drawing. A shirt button sewn on 20 years earlier. Hair from a favorite brush. Half of a faded photograph. Every resident lost exactly one object. Nothing else. The thefts would probably have remained unsolved had one worker not climbed through the window of an empty house. A teenager saw him. The sheriff obtained a warrant. The farmhouse was searched the next morning. No stolen property was recovered. Instead, investigators found a long wooden table. On it stood 247 identical wooden nameplates. Each engraved by hand. Each bearing the name of one resident. 244 had been turned face down. 3 remained upright. No explanation was found. The workers surrendered peacefully. During questioning, every answer was identical. "We're almost finished. Nothing else." 24 hours later, all 6 suffered complete retrograde amnesia. Neurologists confirmed the condition independently. None remembered Briar Hollow. None remembered each other. None recognized the wooden nameplates. The investigation would likely have ended there if several teenagers had not admitted they had followed the workers into the hills weeks earlier. They led deputies to an abandoned limestone cave. The chamber inside had no signs of habitation. Only construction. A massive timber framework rose nearly 15 feet into the darkness. From it hung 244 human figures. Each carefully assembled from twigs and cloth. Inside every figure, forensic technicians discovered a personal belonging. Not merely symbolic. Original. Hair. Buttons. Photographs. Wedding rings. Each figure corresponded to one specific resident. Only 3 people had no figure. Behind the structure, the limestone wall carried 247 carved lines. 244 had been crossed out. 3 had not. The names on the wooden table matched the 3 unfinished marks. It was the first time investigators realized the table had never been an inventory. It had been a progress report. Forensic reconstruction later determined something unexpected. The figures had not all been made inside the cave. They had been carried there one by one over almost 4 weeks. The workers had returned every night. Never missing one. Never making 2. Exactly 1 completed figure every night. Calculations performed by the FBI Behavioral Sciences Unit estimated that if the observed pattern had continued, the remaining 3 figures would have been completed within 72 hours. The report does not speculate what investigators believed would have happened afterward. 3 entire pages remain permanently redacted. The structure was dismantled. Every figure photographed. Catalogued. Sealed as evidence. On October 29, 1 figure disappeared from federal storage. No alarm activated. No locks were damaged. The evidence box was empty. The missing figure belonged to a 68-year-old widow named Eleanor Price. She remained alive. She continued living in Briar Hollow. She attended church every Sunday. Neighbors spoke with her almost daily. There was only one problem. Every government record still listed her as a resident. Every neighbor insisted they knew her. But when investigators later attempted to interview her, no one could remember which house was hers. The final page of the archive contains a handwritten note from Detective Howard Ellis. It was never entered into evidence. We assumed we interrupted a ritual. After seeing the cave, I believe we interrupted a replacement. Whatever was going to happen was only 3 people away.